Level 1. The cage. You are 25 years old. You are running in a race you never agreed to enter. Against people you will never beat, on a track with no finish line. And you cannot see any of it. It's a Monday morning, and the alarm goes off in the dark, and you get up because you have to. Not because you want to. Because if you do not, the money stops, and if the money stops, everything falls apart, fast. You trade your day for a paycheck. The paycheck pays the bills. The bills come again next month. And so you get up again, in the dark, and do it all over. This is the race. And almost everyone you know is running it. Here is the cruelest part. You are one missed paycheck from disaster. And you have been your whole life, and you have simply gotten used to it. The savings account is thin or empty. If the car dies, you are in trouble. If you lose the job, the countdown starts. You are not lazy. You work hard, harder than most. You are just running on a treadmill, fast, and going nowhere. Because everything you earn goes right back out the door to keep you exactly where you are. Notice how the week even feels. Sunday evening carries a quiet dread, because Monday is coming. The weekend is a short parole. You live for 2 days out of 7 and endure the other 5, and you call this normal. Because everyone around you is making the exact same trade, 5 days of their life for 2, over and over, for decades. This is the first thing nobody tells you about the rat race. The first thing is that the trap works because it is invisible. Nobody feels trapped, because everybody is in it, and a cage you share with everyone you know just looks like normal life. You do not see bars. You see a job, and bills, and a weekend you are grateful for, and a vacation once a year. And the vague sense that this is simply how things are. The race does not feel like a race. It feels like reality. That is exactly why so few people ever escape it. You cannot break out of a cage you cannot see. So the first move is not about money at all. It is about your eyes. Because the moment you actually see the race for what it is, something shifts, and you can never fully unsee it again. Let me show you that moment. The verb at level 1 is run. You run hard and stay exactly where you are. Running at this level means trading every day for a paycheck that only buys you the right to do it again tomorrow and never noticing. Because everyone around you is running too, that you are sprinting inside a cage with no finish line at all. Level 2. The wake up. You are 27. Nothing about your bank account has changed, but something in your head just did. And it is the most important change of the entire journey. It usually starts with a small, uncomfortable thought. You do the math one night and realize that if you keep going exactly like this, nothing will ever change. Same job, same bills, same treadmill, for 30 more years, and then you are old. You suddenly see that trading time for money has a ceiling, because you only have so many hours in a life. And the day you stop trading them, the money stops too. For the first time, you see the bars. And here is what makes this moment so rare. The system is built to keep you too busy and too tired to ever have it. Exhausted people do not question the treadmill. They just try to survive it. The wake-up almost always comes in a quiet moment. Late at night, or after something shakes you, a job lost, a friend who got out, a birthday that lands wrong, a crack of stillness, and suddenly you see the whole thing. And it is not a good feeling. Waking up rarely is. Most people, the second they feel this, push it back down. Because seeing the cage is painful and pretending it is not there is comfortable. They tell themselves it is fine, everyone lives this way. And they roll over and go back to sleep. That choice, made half asleep on an ordinary night, is the choice that keeps most people trapped for the rest of their lives. This is the second thing nobody tells you about the rat race. The second thing is that the escape begins in your mind, years before it shows up in your money. Nothing changes until you truly believe two things at once, that the race is real, and that getting out is actually possible. Most people never believe the second one. They accept the treadmill as a life sentence and spend their energy trying to make the cage more comfortable, a nicer cell, a better title, a bigger paycheck to buy nicer things inside the same trap. But you just saw something they refuse to see. There is a door. It is far away, and the walk is long, but it is real. And once you have seen the door, the very next question is the one that decides everything. How do you actually take the first step toward it? It is smaller and simpler than you think, and it starts with a single dollar. The verb at level 2 is wake. You wake and see the race you were blind to. Waking at this level means the most important escape of all, the one that happens behind your eyes, When you finally understand that the treadmill is real, that it has a door, and that you are allowed to walk toward it. Level 3. The gap. You are 29. You just did something that sounds tiny and is actually the foundation of every escape that has ever happened. You spent less than you earned, and you kept the difference. That difference has a name, and the name is the gap. It is the space between what comes in and what goes out. And it is the single most important number in your financial life, more important than your salary. Because your salary is what you make, but the gap is what you keep. And you can only ever escape on what you keep. A person earning a fortune with no gap is still trapped. A person earning little with a real gap is already walking toward the door. And the gap is not about being cheap or miserable. It is about being deliberate. It is choosing on purpose to let some of your money stay yours instead of handing all of it back to the world by Friday. Even a small gap works. $10 kept is not much, but it is the first $10 in your life that is actually building something, instead of just passing through you on its way to someone else. Here is the enemy that eats the gap, and it is sneaky. Every time your income goes up, the world quietly invites you to raise your spending to match it. The raise becomes a nicer car. The bonus becomes a bigger apartment. And your gap, the thing that was supposed to free you, stays exactly the same or vanishes, no matter how much more you earn. This is why people making huge salaries still live paycheck to paycheck. They let their spending chase their income, and the finish line ran away from them every single time they got faster. This is the third thing nobody tells you about the rat race. The third thing is that escaping is not about how much you earn. It is about how much you keep, and how fiercely you protect that gap from a world designed to close it. The person who escapes is not usually the highest earner. It is the one who got a raise and did not upgrade their life, who let the gap grow instead of the lifestyle, who understood that every dollar of that gap is a tiny brick pulled out of the wall. Boring, unglamorous, and the entire secret. But a gap just sitting there is not freedom yet. It is only potential. To turn it into an actual escape, you have to do one more thing with it, the thing that separates the people who save from the people who get free. You have to put it to work. The verb at level 3 is keep. You keep the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Keeping at this level means learning that your salary was never the thing that would free you, that only the money you hold on to can buy your way out, and that protecting the gap from a world built to erase it is the whole quiet game. Level 4. The machine. You are 33. For the first time in your life, a dollar just showed up that you did not work for. You were asleep when it arrived. You took that gap you built, and instead of letting it sit, you used it to buy things that pay you back. Call them what they really are, little machines that make money. A share of a business that sends you a slice of its profits. Money lent out that pays you interest. Property that pays you rent. It does not matter which one you start with. What matters is the moment the first one pays you, because that dollar is different from every dollar you have ever earned. It came without your time, and that changes everything. Sit in that feeling for a second, because it is genuinely strange the first time. Your whole life you have lived by one simple rule. No work, no money. And then one morning that rule quietly breaks. You did nothing, and money appeared anyway. It is small, maybe a few dollars, easy to laugh off. Do not laugh it off. You just watched, with your own eyes, the rule that traps everyone bend for the very first time. Understand why this is the real turning point. Your whole life. There has been exactly one thing earning money for you. You, your hands, your hours, your energy, and when those run out, the income stops cold. Now, for the first time, there are two of you working. There is you, and there is the machine, and the machine does not sleep, does not get tired, does not quit, and works every hour of the day whether you show up or not. You just hired your first employee, and the employee is your money. This is the fourth thing nobody tells you about the rat race. The fourth thing is that you do not escape the race by running faster. You escape it by building something that runs for you. As long as you are the only engine, you can never stop, because the second you stop, everything stops with you. The escape only becomes possible when your money starts earning money of its own, quietly, in the background. A second income that grows while the first one is what you sleep and eat and live on. The first machine is small. It might pay for almost nothing at first, but it is proof that the door is real, because you just watched money arrive without you. And once you have one machine, the game turns into something almost addictive. because now you know exactly what to do with every dollar of that gap. Feed the machines, and watch what happens when they get big enough to start paying your actual bills. The verb at level 4 is build. You build the first machine that pays you without your time. Building at this level means you stop being the only engine in your life. You hire your money as your first tireless employee, and you prove to yourself, with a single dollar that arrived while you slept, that the door out is real. Level 5. The staircase. You are 38. Something quietly thrilling is happening. Your machines have started paying your bills. Not all of them, but it has begun. It starts small and specific, and it is one of the best feelings in the entire journey. 1 month, you realize the money from your investments covers your phone bill. The whole thing, paid, without you lifting a finger. Then a few months later, it covers the electricity too. Then the car. Piece by piece, bill by bill, the income that does not need your time starts taking over the costs of your life. And each one it covers is one more thing the job no longer has to. And it quietly rewires how you see money itself. $100 stops being something to spend. It becomes something that could go buy you a machine that pays a piece of a bill forever. Spending starts to feel like trading away tiny pieces of your freedom. And saving starts to feel like buying them back. And once you see money that way, you can never fully return to the old way of seeing it. Do you see what is actually happening here? Every bill your machines take over is a piece of your freedom bought back. Think of your job as covering a tall stack of expenses. Every time your other income lifts one off the stack, the job is responsible for a little less, which means you depend on it a little less. Which means you could survive a little longer without it. You are not free yet, but you are, measurably, a little more free every single month. And you can feel the walls of the cage getting further apart. This is the 5th thing nobody tells you about the rat race. The 5th thing is that freedom is not a switch. It is a staircase, and you climb it one bill at a time. Nobody goes from trapped to free overnight. You get there gradually, as your machines take over more and more of your life. And somewhere in this stretch, a beautiful shift happens in how you feel. The fear starts to fade. The job that used to own you starts to feel optional in small ways. You speak up more because you need it a little less. Money that does not depend on you does something a paycheck never can. It gives you a spine. And there is one specific month coming, one line you are about to cross, that changes your life more than any other single moment. It is the day the machines finally earn more than your entire life costs. They call it the crossover, and it is the actual door. The verb at level 5 is replace. You replace your salary, one bill at a time, with income that needs no hours. Replacing at this level means watching freedom arrive gradually, as machine after machine lifts a cost off your job, until the fear starts to fade and the work that once owned you slowly turns into a choice. Level 6. The crossover. You are 43. This morning, something happened that most people spend their whole lives never reaching. Your money now earns more than you spend. You are free. Sit with the size of this. The income from your machines, the money that arrives whether you work or not, is now bigger than the entire cost of your life. Every bill, every meal, every ordinary expense, all of it, covered, forever, without you working a single hour. This is the crossover point, the line the whole journey was walking toward. And the day you cross it, a fact becomes true that is very hard to take back. You do not have to work anymore. The job is now a choice. Feel what that does to a person. For your entire life, there was a gun to your back, the quiet threat that if you stopped, everything would collapse. That gun is gone now. You could walk into work tomorrow and quit, and you would be fine, and the mere fact that you could changes everything about how it feels to be there. You are not chained to the paycheck anymore. You kept your time. You bought it back, hour by hour, machine by machine, and now it belongs to you. And the wild part is how quiet the moment is. There is no ceremony. No one throws you a party. It is just an ordinary morning where you check the numbers and realize the machines covered everything this month, and they will cover it again next month and the month after that. The biggest change of your entire life arrives, and it arrives in total silence, and only you know it happened. This is the 6th thing nobody tells you about the rat race. The 6th thing is that the finish line of the rat race is not a number in the bank, it is a ratio. The day your income that needs no work crosses over the cost of your life. And notice what actually got you here, because it is not what the world sells you. It was not a giant salary. It was the gap, protected for years. It was the machines, fed patiently. It was living below your means while your income climbed. The escape was built out of boring, repeatable choices, not luck, not a windfall, which means it was available to far more people than ever reach it. Most never do. You did. But here is the strange thing nobody still running will believe. Crossing the line is not the end of the story. Because the moment you are finally free, you run straight into a question the money was quietly hiding from you the whole time. Free to do what? The verb at level 6 is cross. You cross the line where your money earns more than your life costs. Crossing at this level means reaching the true finish of the race. The day work becomes optional, and the threat that ran you for decades finally lifts, and discovering that you bought back the one thing you were trading away the entire time, which was your time. Level 7. The point. You are 45. You are out. You escaped the race that swallows most people whole. And you are about to learn the last and most important truth of all, the one waiting on the other side of the door. The first few weeks of freedom are pure joy. No alarm. No boss. No countdown. Your time is entirely your own. And then, quietly, for a lot of people, something unexpected creeps in. A restlessness. An emptiness. A strange question that money can no longer answer. Because you finally have enough of it. Now what? You spent so many years running from the cage that you never stopped to ask what you were running toward, and now that you have arrived, you find the destination was never really the point. Here is what the whole journey was actually about. It was never about not working. Plenty of free people choose to work harder than ever, on things they love, because they finally can. It was never even about the money. The money was just the tool. What you were really buying, the whole time, at every level, was the right to choose. The right to spend your one short life on what matters to you, instead of what you are forced to do just to survive. Freedom is not the absence of work. It is the presence of choice. This is the 7th thing nobody tells you about the rat race, and it is the one that matters most. The 7th thing is that escaping the rat race is not the finish line you imagine. It is a beginning, and it only makes you happy if you are running towards something, not just away from something. The people who escape and feel lost are the ones who spent decades sprinting from a feeling, not enough, not safe, not worthy, and found that crossing the line did not fix the feeling, because the feeling was never about money. The people who escape and feel truly alive are the ones who knew what their freedom was for. So do not just plan your escape. Plan the life on the other side of it. Because that, and not the money, is the actual prize. And so the race, in the end, turns out to be a strange one. You do not win it by running faster. You win it by waking up, building quietly, crossing the line, and then, finally, remembering what you wanted your time for in the first place. You were never really trying to get rich. You were trying to get free. And free, it turns out, is just another word for your own time, back in your own hands. The verb at level 7 is live. You live, finally, on your own terms, with your time in your own hands. Living at this level means discovering that the escape was never about the money or even the work, but about the right to choose, and that the prize you spent years chasing was your own time, handed back to you, to spend at last on what actually matters. So let's pull this together. At level 1, you run, trapped on a treadmill you cannot even see. At level 2, you wake and finally spot the bars around you. At level 3, you keep the gap between what you earn and what you spend. At level 4, you build your first machine that pays you without your time. At level 5, you replace your salary, one bill at a time. At level 6, you cross the line where your money earns more than your life costs. At level 7, you live, free at last, and learn what freedom was actually for. Here is the thing nobody on YouTube will tell you about the rat race. The bars of the cage are not made of money. They are made of two things: your spending and your fear. The spending keeps the gap closed, so you never build anything that could free you. And the fear keeps you from believing the door is even real, so you never walk toward it. Change those two things, and the whole cage falls apart, no matter what your salary is. Leave them alone, and you can earn a fortune and stay trapped forever, which is exactly what happens to most high earners. And notice what the escape did not require. It did not require a huge income. It did not require getting lucky, or being brilliant, or finding some secret nobody else knows. It required seeing the trap, opening a gap, and patiently turning that gap into income that does not need your time. Slow, boring, repeatable, available to almost anyone willing to do it for long enough, and refused by almost everyone. Because it is not fast, and it is not exciting, and it asks you to look different from everyone around you. So if you are still deep in the race right now, in the dark, hitting the alarm, feeling the countdown, hear the one thing that matters. You are not stuck because you do not earn enough. You are stuck because everything you earn goes back out the door. And because no one ever told you there was a door of your own to walk toward. There is. It starts with the very next dollar you choose to keep instead of spend. That dollar is not just savings. It is the first brick you pull out of the wall. And if you are close, if your machines already cover some of your bills and you can feel the walls widening, do not lose your nerve in the last stretch. And do not forget the real question waiting on the other side. Decide now what your freedom is for. Because the money will buy back your time. But only you can decide what that time is worth. And a life bought back and then wasted is the saddest escape of all. Win the race. Then go live like you meant to. It's a Monday morning, and somewhere an alarm is going off in the dark, and a 25-year-old is getting up because they have to, trading another day for another paycheck. Running as hard as they can on a treadmill they cannot yet see. They do not know yet that the race has a door. They think this is just life. The way it is for everyone, forever. But one day, if they are lucky, a thought will wake them up, and they will see the bars. And they will keep their first dollar instead of spending it, and build their first small machine, and watch it grow, bill by bill, year by year. Until the morning comes when the money earns more than they spend, and the alarm becomes optional, and their time, finally, is their own again. The ladder has 7 levels. Run, wake, keep, build, replace, cross, live. And here is the secret hiding at the top of it. You were never really running to get rich. You were running to get free. And free was always just your own time, back in your own hands. The rat race is a race you win the moment you understand that you were allowed to stop running and walk calmly toward the door the whole time. If this video changed how you think about work and freedom, hit subscribe. We have more videos like this on the channel, each one pulling apart a piece of how money and time actually work underneath the story we are usually sold. See you in the next one.